right, buddy, back at it, man. After Thanksgiving, you ready to get this sucker
Yeah,
going?
I'm
You're not
still
still asleep from tryptophan from the
still
turkey,
on
are you?
still tryptophan, man, but I'll push through.
Well, we're gonna go pretty quick through these stories tonight, pretty rapid fire. So yeah, hopefully we can we'll both be able to stay awake and keep the audience awake as well. And
Well, that's the main thing. Let's try to keep them awake. We don't want any car
hey, you know what?
accidents.
Truthfully, yeah, I mean, ratings might be better if they doze off during it and it just
We
keeps
know
on
what? There we
playing.
go. Actually, let us put you to sleep.
That's right. Nobody changed the channel here.
Every night, just put on our show, and just drift silently to
Just let it
sleep,
play on a loop.
dreaming those dreams.
That's right.
we we have 5 million hours of views. What in the world?
Not a bad idea. There are worse
Yeah.
business ideas. There are
You
worse
know what?
business
And it's
ideas.
free. I think you got to pay for Calm, that Calm
Exactly.
app and everything. Yeah,
Yes.
don't pay
Yes.
for it. Just put us
Yeah.
on. Go to
Yeah.
sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, we will put you right to sleep.
Yeah. Our voices are soothing enough. We'll put you right to sleep.
All right, man. Well, I'll go ahead and play us in. We'll get this sucker started.
All right, let's do it.
Let's roll.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Welcome, everybody, wherever you are, however you found us. Thank you for making us part of your day. We're excited to be here. Tad and Jeff, you get the horn show. This is the big show, everybody. So buckle up. We're going to have some fun. Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing good. Nowhere else I'd rather
Yeah.
be right now than right here, entertaining our global audience. Excited to get going. I know we got some awesome stories tonight.
We do. We got some fun stuff, man. I think we're going to have a good time with it. I think people are going to like what we have. And I thought, let's just start off with a bang. I'm going to tell you a story here. The story is about the Jim twins. The Jim twins were separated at birth and reunited at 39 years old. They quickly found out they had lived oddly similar lives. Both had married and divorced someone named Linda. Both were currently married to a woman named Betty. Both had sons named James Allen. Both had dogs named Toy. Both drove the same car. Both had jobs in security. And both regularly vacationed at the same beach in Florida. And somehow had just never run into each other. This is a picture of the Jim twins. There you go.
That is amazing. There has to be okay. Wives named Linda. I mean, that's a common name back in that day. But dogs named Toy.
Yes.
How is that possible? I've never once. I don't know anyone in all of my years of living knew of a dog named Toy.
Yeah.
And they
named their sons
dog
James Allen. What are the chances that both of your sons mean James Allen?
I mean, there has to be some scientific reason behind all this, right? I mean, how is this possible?
Yeah, twins does not account for this. Like, twins
Right.
just seems like that's just like an added weird thing that they happen to be twins. Like, even if you met someone you weren't related to, but you had the same wife, you divorced from the same person, dog the same, kids the same, vacation the same place, work the same type of job, you'd be freaked out. Like, twins is just one more like log on the fire, but this is a very weird set of circumstances for these guys to be so similar.
Yeah, I read on this a little bit. They both smoked Salem cigars. You mentioned one having some law enforcement. One was a security guard, the other was a sheriff. I mean, it's just it's just nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's so weird, man. I mean, how do you explain something like that? I mean, that's just one of those things where you really there's no way to make sense of why that happens. Like you could sit here and say, "Oh, that's just a weird coincidence." It clearly is, but why? Why is it a weird coincidence? Why does it happen?
I just can there be a coincidence with this? I mean, I can't get past naming their dog's toy. I
Right.
mean, that just has to be some wavelength thing going on. I would love to know, like, who named the dog. Was it the kids? Was it them? Like,
Right.
it just that, like, there's had to be something going on there, in the supernatural. I think that, like, you would name a dog toy.
Right.
Just nobody names their dog toy. I don't. That they're
Right.
probably the only two people in the world that have ever named their dog toy.
That seems like the most likely situation. Yes, I cannot imagine that very many people are naming their dog Toy. I mean, yeah, it's so strange. The whole thing is so weird, and the fact that on top of all that, they were long lost twins that had been separated and then got back together when they were 39.
Did they ever say
Yeah,
how they got back together? How they figured each other out? That they
honestly,
had
that's a
that?
good
I mean, I
question.
assume were they just looking like for? Because I'm assuming they probably had to know they were adopted, and then they just started looking. I just wonder if that might be the case. But
Yeah, I don't know the
fascinating.
whole backstory on it. I do know. So it all happened in the late 70s, and so
Yeah, so they weren't
they
taking a DNA test at that point.
right exactly. So they were born in Ohio, and they were put up for adoption, and they both got adopted. So one of them was adopted in Lima, Ohio, and the other is a different family in Piqua, Ohio. And so both of them were given the name Jim by their adoptive parents. So they didn't even have those names at the time that they got adopted. They didn't even have the name Jim. So then they were given the name Jim, each of them by their adopted parents. And yeah, so Jim Lewis, one of the Jim twins, decided to search for his biological family. So, with no information to go on besides the knowledge that he had a twin, he embarked on a quest to find his long lost brother. With the help of dedicated researchers, he managed to locate his twin brother, Jim Springer, who was equally intrigued by the prospect of a family reunion. And then they, they were reunited in 1979 on the set of the Phil Donahue show.
Oh, Phil, bringing families together since
That's right.
1979.
Yeah. So
Wow.
pretty insane stuff, man.
That is
Um,
crazy. Like I said, there's just you can't tell me that there's just like that's just all coincidence. Like,
right.
it's impossible that this could be a coincidence.
Couldn't
Same
be.
beach you go of all the beaches in Florida.
Right. Yes.
Like, I've
Yeah.
been to
Keep in
many
mind, you're
beaches
from
in Florida,
Ohio.
and you're from Ohio. There's many other places you could go that it's
Yes.
warm and everything else. And I don't, couldn't even count how many beaches in Florida I've been to,
Right.
and they end up at the same exact one. Like, this is just where they vacationed at.
Yeah. Traveling from
That is
Ohio, it's not like they were adopted in Miami to where
right.
it's like, okay, you
Yeah,
go to
like,
the beach,
okay,
it's 10
sure.
minutes from your house.
Yeah,
This is, traveling across the country to go to the beach. They go to the same spot in Florida. Yeah.
fascinating. Just that's too many coincidences there, just to say like there's just not some wavelength thing going on. I don't know.
It's gotta be.
That's just fascinating. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's a crazy story.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty interesting. And I'm going to swing this one to the kind of opposite side of things. I saw this and I just thought there are things that in America we don't understand and we just never will because they're cultural, they're political, they're any number of different things that are just different. Right? It's different in different countries. The way people live, the way people eat, their diets, their manners, their etiquette, all of these things, it's very different. When you travel, and that's really so much of the value of traveling is getting a chance to see other cultures and see how they live and things like that. So this bit of etiquette is going to demonstrate how the Queen of England eats a banana.
Now, the Queen would eat a banana. We don't peel it like a primate. Instead, using the fork, we hold it in place and cut off one end. Then we cut off the other end. And then we turn the knife on its side and go into the skin like so. And then prising it open. And then cut a little bit off and eat like so. Now, the Queen.
How nice.
That's just dumb. How much work you did to eat a stupid
Seriously.
banana.
Yeah, I want to have a banana. Fetch my knife and fork.
What?
Yeah. But I guarantee you, if you go to Japan, the prime minister is not eating bananas with chopsticks. So
Sure.
there are limitations on what you can do.
I was like, was that Trump when he was on his campaign trail, stopped at KFC and was using a knife and fork to eat a piece of chicken? Like, dude, what are you doing? People probably look at that and be like, oh, that must be an American thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so strange. I saw that and I was just like, what a weird... You had to invent that way to eat a banana because there was never a part... Like, no one in nature eats a banana like that. Like, we eat bananas similarly to the way primates eat bananas. Monkeys eat bananas similar to the way we do. Someone invented this way to eat a banana. Bananas are not inherently messy. That's the beauty of them. You peel it, you can hold it.
Right. You don't even have to touch the banana part of it. It's like you can just eat it all the way down to the very bottom and then hold the peel up and toss it. Yeah, that's just being extra bougie right there.
That's right. Yeah, somebody's trying to show off. But yes, there is actual etiquette on how to eat a banana. So there you go.
I will do that the next time I get a banana. My wife will say, "What are you doing?"
That's right. What is wrong with you?
I'm not a primate. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, how else are you supposed to eat this? Jeez.
What, some kind of monster? I eat like royalty.
That's it.
You didn't start treating me like royalty.
There's etiquette at this house as I'm, eating it in my boxers,
On the couch, like on the coffee table.
A dog right beside me. Yes, Father, I also would like a banana.
Yeah. Are there any extra bananas?
We're a fancy household.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, here's the thing. As we like to do on this show, when the pendulum swings one way, we're going to swing it right back the other way.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
So here we go. This one will not involve etiquette whatsoever. In 2007, a Florida man named Michael Moylan woke up with a severe headache. He initially thought the pain would pass, but instead it got worse. He asked his wife to drive him to the hospital because he was worried he was having a brain aneurysm. Upon arriving at the hospital, the nurse immediately checked him out and confirmed that something was indeed seriously wrong, but it wasn't a brain aneurysm. It was something much stranger. It turns out that he had a bullet lodged behind his right ear. When the bullet was found, the man's wife, April Moylan, fled the emergency room. Due to the suspicious nature of the incident, hospital staff informed the police. April Moylan later admitted to accidentally firing at her husband in his sleep after the burglar alarm went off at 4 a.m. and was later jailed on a weapons violation charge.
Yeah, accidentally discharged.
Yeah, classic accidental shooting. Also, coincidentally, I just saw the other day, Oscar Pistorius, the Olympic sprinter with no legs, he's getting out of prison on parole. So I'm sure he was another accidental shooter that's making it out.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing I don't understand about the story. Guy's in bed. He gets up in the morning. Oh, man, my head really hurts. Oh, man, it's not getting better. Is there not blood? You got shot behind the ear. Like, how is there a bullet lodged behind your ear? There's no blood. There's no nothing. I don't fully understand how it would happen.
Unless it's just the way it went in behind the ear. Maybe there's just not a lot of blood back. And then the wife doesn't wake him up like, oh my God, honey, I just shot you.
And he didn't wake up from the gunshot going off. I mean,
well, I can understand the alarm not waking up to the alarm going off. This is actually a true story. Happened to me. It's a long story, but I did not hear our alarm going off, and I wake up in the morning to missed phone calls. I wake up to texts, and I look at my camera and see the police at my door at like 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
Of course, don't knock, don't do anything. Literally, you can just see them like peeking in, be like, meh, and then turn around and leaving. So one of our sensors malfunctioned and fell, or I don't even know. It's something I can't even remember exactly how it happened. But gone off. We slept through it. Not just me, my wife,
Wow.
and police. Everything came. So I can understand not waking up to that. But how you didn't wake up to being shot, I don't know. That's impressive. Must have been a real long night. And then the wife like discharged the gun. So if it was an accident, she didn't try to wake her husband up and say, "Oh my God, you didn't hear the alarm go off. Oh my gosh, you didn't hear the gun go off. I think I may have just shot
Are you
you."
dead?
Yeah,
Were you already dead because you didn't hear the alarm go off or the gun go off?
yeah.
Like,
I don't buy the accidental discharge whatsoever.
yeah.
There's no chance that can be true. There's zero chance that can be true. I mean,
These
you.
women always claim that it's accidental. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen so many times. I told my wife, I'm like, we're not having a gun in this house anymore. There's no way. No way. There's no way there's been 7 accidental discharges of this gun. Come on.
Can you just stop handling it? Should we get you a gun safety course or two?
Yeah, just keep it in the safe. We don't need to do anything with it. Why do you always have the gun out?
I would love to know if they were still together because there could be zero chance that was an accident. And
Yeah.
if it was, how did you not wake your husband up?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it was dark, so you didn't know that you could have shot him? You didn't realize it? I mean, there are a lot of questions here.
And then you just fell back asleep? Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Guess we're fine.
He didn't wake up. I guess he's all right. And then, could you just imagine, like, just the doctor's like, "Dude, there's a bullet in you," and then turn around and see her running.
Yeah, she just takes off in a dead sprint. Because also, there is something to be said for your behavior being indicative of your intent. If you were told, like, Piercy's been shot, and she was like, "Wait a minute, oh my goodness, I can't believe it, I know what must have happened." That's not what she did. She took off running. She just left the hospital, sprinted away.
His face as she's running away, like, what? Oh my God.
Yeah. Honey? What? Yeah. It's not good. There's a little more to this story.
She didn't say a word. She just booked it out of there. Oh,
like,
that's
"I'm
so
out."
funny.
Yeah,
And then
that's
she
not
only
good.
gets
That's not good.
jail
I don't think
time
they have
for-
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think they have a healthy relationship.
I'm
gonna
gonna
say it.
guess not.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say what maybe some of us have been thinking. Yeah, I don't think they have a great relationship.
Yeah, I'm gonna just throw it out there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they don't, but
Yeah.
if I'm a betting man,
Don't come looking for me.
she just straight sprinted out of that hospital room.
It's like, how is there a more guilty thing that you could possibly have as a reaction to finding this out? Like, what could you have done? What could you have done more guilty other than just screaming out, like, "I didn't get him this time"? What
Right.
could you, like, he foiled me again.
But then at the same time, when he says, so maybe I don't know if then he says like, "Please take me to the hospital." Could she not have been like, "Come on, it's not that bad"? Like,
Right.
if she really thought she shot him, then would she have been like, "Oh, let's go"?
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
that's wild. Or was she just hoping it really was an aneurysm? I dodged a bullet on this one. He didn't.
He did not. Well, I'll tell you a funny story related to this somewhat, not involving me getting shot, but last week we had this great story about I won't remember the guy's last name, but Rogelio something, the guy in Texas who arranged to have himself kidnapped so he could party.
Yes.
And he had himself kidnapped in front of his wife and kids at gunpoint. I said I wanted to try to have Rogelio on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I did my research. I found Rogelio. I really did.
You did.
I did. It took some research. I'm guessing though that I'm not maybe the first person that's tried to reach out to him, because I found him on Facebook, but his Facebook account is private and you can't message him or anything.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm guessing maybe he's heard from other people, but yeah, Rogelio, if you're out there, I'd love to have you on the show, buddy. I couldn't even
Please.
send him a message. I had no way to be able to
Oh,
contact the
that's
guy. I
so
found his
funny.
account, but I can't message him. So
He said no.
Yeah.
When
Like, I
that
don't
story
need
came
any of
out,
that.
he's like, I can't. I'm not going to bring this back up.
she just makes me relive it every time. All right, well, let's move on here. Again, we talk all the time about being in the right place at the right time, wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes you're just laying in bed sleeping and your wife shoots you in the head, right? We know this; these things can happen.
It happens.
It does. It does happen. So, in 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived the first atomic blast at Hiroshima, despite being spun in the air and landing face first in a ditch from the impact of the explosion. After a quick recovery, he jumped on a train to get out of town, but he went to Nagasaki and arrived just in time for the second bomb to drop. But he survived that one too. Like, it is not your time, man. If you managed to be in both places, I was in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and I'm good. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and he probably had to think like they were legitimately trying to kill him. What the heck, man? Like, jeez.
What did I do?
Oh,
Yeah.
that is crazy. You survived. I survived 2 atomic bombs.
Yeah. And he lived. Here's the thing too, and I'll show you. Like, he lived to be an old man. Like, I have a picture here that we can see. Like, that's him as a younger guy. And there he is. That's the man that survived 2 atomic bombs.
Yeah, he has that look of like, yeah, you can't kill me.
Yeah, I've seen some things.
He really has. Jeez.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like, you get hit by an atomic bomb, survive, and then think you're safe by getting on a train and going somewhere else, and then you get off, and then here comes another one.
That's right. Yeah. Keep in mind, there's never been one atomic bomb ever dropped on Earth before. And you got both of them. You can't get away.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This
scary.
is a Final Destination type of
Right.
thing, man. He had to spend his whole life just looking around like, jeez.
Yeah.
What's that?
You ain't gonna get me.
Jeez.
Scary, man. Scary. But I mean, hey, good for him, right? I mean, that's just incredible that this guy is able to survive that. Okay. I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit. And there's a great way to do that, which is, of course, through animals, right? Everybody loves animals. Everybody loves, whether it's pets or wild animals. We're always fascinated. Humans are fascinated by animals and wanting to understand them more, whether it's our own pets, right? We have our dogs, our cats. We want to understand, what are they thinking? What are they saying? When you have music on, do your animals enjoy anything that you have? You probably have animals right there in your area.
Oh, he heard you.
Hey, there he is.
And he ran straight down. As soon as you said animals, he threw the door open and ran in.
He's like, I know it when it's my time.
Okay.
Well, let's see something a little different. So the question is, do animals like music? Studies have found that they actually enjoy specially designed sounds using pitches, tones, and tempos that are familiar to a particular animal's species. I'm going to show you now a video of someone bringing in raccoons using music. It will be like nothing you've ever seen.
They just keep coming. What's that? I hear the call of my people.
Yeah, this is a raccoon heavy forest. Look at this.
What in the world?
Yeah. So there you go.
And they just keep coming.
Yeah. So it's very interesting, though, to think now, assuming that that's not all somehow faked or, rigged or something like that, that it is interesting that there are tones, sounds, little things. And for people that are listening on the podcast, sorry, we should have said this, but what we had there was a video. It's a guy in the woods playing a little flute. And I mean, how many were there? 20 raccoons in a circle
At
around
least,
that guy?
yeah.
And they're just coming out of the woods and kind of jogging over to sit in front of him and just watch. And it was really fascinating because then you start thinking like, wow, maybe there are just certain sounds that draw, like, I mean, we know we can whistle and a dog will come, but a cat won't, So like those types of things, like it really makes you, so curious about like, what could you learn to bring in or to call or to utilize, to different instruments or noises to be able to control animals. I mean, it's like a Tarzan type of thing.
I guess Pied Piper was a real thing then, huh?
That's right. Exactly. So yeah, I saw that video the other day and I was like, man, that is something that's pretty cool. Like that's just to be able to do that again, assuming that it's real. I thought it was really neat to be able to see just this guy's just playing those tones and raccoons are literally just coming out of the forest, circling around him and just sitting there still just watching him like he is the raccoon lord and they're just like coming to call him for the dinner bell.
What an odd ditty to play that makes raccoons come. How long was he was he trying to summon raccoons or was he just out in the woods one day playing
playing the flute?
Nobody in his family wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
All these raccoons come calling. Did you call?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's nuts, and I'll tell you. So there is another one, and it is. I'll see if I can kind of bring this up to show you, because there's one that's very similar. This is someone that is playing a flute and drawing in deer. The deer likes the sound of silence. And then she rides the deer off into the woods.
Well, I think it would make it better if a buck just comes in and just knocks her over.
But yeah, so it is interesting. Animals' reaction to music and tones and sounds and stuff like that is pretty cool. It's pretty neat stuff to see.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just, I don't know, unless they're just like, why is this person out in the woods playing a ditty right now?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get some rest here, man.
Bro, do you know what time it is? I got kids, man.
I'm on a very different schedule than you are.
I got kids. They're trying to sleep, man. Could you keep
I got to get in the trash cans later. I got a lot happening.
I got so much stuff happening tomorrow. Jeez, man.
Not cool, bro.
Not cool at all.
Oh, man. Yeah. So now we got another one. Now I'm going to give proper attribution here. My wife found this.
Okay.
My wife found this. And she was very clear that if I discussed it, I had to make sure that I gave her credit for having found it.
Only fair.
Yeah. So proper attribution. My wife found this. So if you hate it, please send your letters addressed to her and not me.
Yes. Care of.
But but I did think it's actually very, very fascinating. So I'm going to run through. This is a list of the number of known serial killers in different countries around the world, from low to high. Okay. And these are major nations. Okay. So like understand it's not every little tiny little, place. Estonia or something is on the list. But this is a list of known serial killers in different countries. We're going to start with Russia with 73, India 80, Australia 81, Germany 85, Japan 95, Italy 97, Canada 106, South Africa 117, England 166, and the United States with 3,204 serial killers that are known.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Huh. Look at us leading the way.
That's right.
USA.
These colors
USA.
don't run, but they will kill you.
They will kill you. It'll make other people run, but
That's right. I mean, can you imagine
gosh.
that the second place is England with 166, and we have 3,204.
Jeez.
It just doesn't seem possible. And so then you go, okay, now there is more to the story, right? There are these things where people say, well, other nations don't have the same reporting policies and policing technology that we have and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure there's some truth to that. But England, I think, is pretty first world on their communication. Canada, like these places aren't exactly struggling to have, communication across the board as it pertains to their legal system. I don't know if it's as pure and clean as those numbers just to say, oh, yeah, no, the US has, 20 times the number of serial killers that the next country does. But it is definitely something to look at and something that is scary to see, really, if you think about it. I mean, it's funny, in a very macabre way, but it's also crazy when you think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, what makes it? And I mean, is there other definitions of serial killers in other countries? Like,
Right.
do you have to kill? I don't even know what constitutes a serial killer. I mean, serial would have to mean many, right?
It's
I mean,
multiple.
so I wonder what do other countries have like a larger threshold than what we do? Either way, if it's theirs is 5 or 6, and ours is 4, it doesn't really still add up. I wonder what causes this, man. We are a wild, wicked nation for sure. Jeez.
It's listed that a serial killer is typically a person who murders 3 or more people,
Okay,
with the
3 more.
murders taking place over more than a month and including a significant period of time between them. While most authorities set a threshold of 3 murders, other extended to 4 or lessen it to 2. But still, 2 to 4,
Right.
is where we are. So I don't think that accounts for 20 times higher numbers in the U.S.
No.
Gun laws probably have a lot to do with it, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, but
But that doesn't create the killer. That just
Right.
gives them the opportunity to kill more.
The
easily.
opportunity, and like how many serial killers use guns? I mean, the ones that we know, like that's not their weapon of choice typically.
Right. Yeah.
So
Very true.
yeah. A lot of deranged people here in the United States. It looks like, anyways.
It
Jeez,
sure seems that way.
I mean, that's crazy stat. I would love to. I wish we could. At some point, maybe we'll do a deep dive into that. Like, what percentage was guns? What percentage was knives or strangulation or whatever? But it doesn't matter. Murder is murder. So
Sure.
what makes the United States so much more than every other country?
Yeah, and it's interesting. They did a study. Now, this is a little older now, 2014, a Radford study using the serial killer database annual statistics. They indicated that for the decades of 1900 to 2010, the percentage of white serial killers was 52.1, while the percentage of African American serial killers was 40.3. So it trends a little bit more white, but still, it's not like dramatically in one side. It's not like 98% black or 98% white or Hispanic or anything else. So it's fairly equal opportunity. And so it's just very interesting to figure out, like, okay, well, what causes those things? And they did a study in South Africa on serial homicide, and many patterns that they found were established very similar to what we found in the US. There were some exceptions. no offenders in South Africa, no serial killers were female. All of the offenders in South Africa were, on average, lower educated than they were in the US. And both victims and offenders in South Africa were predominantly black. But then obviously there are lots of serial killers outside of the United States of all different, origins and everything else. So it's, it doesn't seem to be anything that you can just kind of narrow down onto one set of circumstances or one, race or culture or anything else. So it's very weird.
Very weird. Yeah. Very fascinating that we would be we're probably 3 times what the whole entire list of those are. I mean, that's crazy, man. Like, that is crazy. And
we are
population
20 times higher. The US is 20 times higher in serial killers than the number 2 country. I mean, that's hard to believe.
That's very hard to believe. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. So there you go. So when you're out there, just keep an eye out because there's thousands of serial killers. You gotta know what's around there. So give credit to my wife there for finding that and sharing it. No secret to why we're married. Not everyone has a wife sending them serial killer statistics, but but it's just our thing, so it works for us.
Kind of what we do.
Yeah. All right. So I have a few things here, and we're gonna get ready here to wrap things up and start to bring this sucker in for a smooth landing. I've got a couple though that I want to get your take on. Saw this the other day. I'm going to just put it out there for you, and you will tell me what you think of it, because I don't know what I think of it yet. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay. Are we drinking out of juice boxes completely wrong? I have brought up an image that is showing 2 juice boxes and saying that the correct way would be to put the curved part of the straw down inside of the juice box in order to be able to drink everything versus drinking out of the curved part. What do you think about this?
I don't like it. Feels wrong.
Okay.
The whole idea of that bendy straw was to bend it down to your level there. I mean, honestly, though, really, what is the purpose of a bendy straw?
True. Doesn't seem needed.
Doesn't, right? Huh.
Now, the thing that's interesting here is that some people will point out that typically the end of the straw is sharp, like angled to be able to punch in to put the straw in, which you could easily punch through with one side and then put the other side in. So that doesn't really solve the problem either.
It doesn't, but you would think if that's the way it was supposed to go, the bendy side would be the sharp side.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's tricky. My theory is, though, that if you put the straw in with the bendy side in the bottom, it may not be long enough to properly protrude from the top the same way.
Yeah, and if you're bending it in, it's not going to lay flat. It's gonna bend up. So you're just in the same thing. Nah, I don't think it's true.
Yeah,
wouldn't they have told us? I feel like it's like Apple, like, spend $1,500 on a phone, and then I gotta find YouTube videos on. Did you know your phone could do this? No. Why didn't anyone tell me my phone could do this?
Why wouldn't they share that with me? The manufacturers of the phone. Why don't they want people to know what it does?
Right. Why am I finding hacks on this? There should be a whole entire manual that comes with this thing that tells me everything that it should do. I shouldn't have to figure this out by watching some YouTube video. So I would hope that the bendy straw industry isn't out here playing us like fools.
Well, in the juice box industry, really. I mean, I think the good people in the bendy straw industry are really just victims of circumstance. I mean, they just got in bed with the wrong people here. they hitched their wagon to the juice box, folks, and it just turned out that it was going to burn them. They couldn't have known that.
They couldn't have known. There's no way that could be. I'm gonna have to now get a juice box, which I haven't had in quite a long time, and try the other way. I think the straw is going to bend up, so you're just going to end up with the same amount. There's no way that straw is going to go in there and just lay perfectly flat in the corner where all the juice is going to run to. It's impossible. It's impossible.
We're going to do it. We need to do it on the show. We need to do it on the show.
A live one on the show.
That's right.
All right. Next week, we're going to get juice boxes and we're going to try this.
And you know what we should do? We should actually live stream it so people don't just be able to watch it later. They can, the people that want to tune in, we can live stream putting straws into juice boxes and find out.
All right. We're doing it. We're doing it. I'm not doing apple juice. Forget that. Have to be, I don't know, high C or something. I don't
more
know.
Than fair.
We'll figure it out, but
more than fair.
I don't think this is going to be true. I refuse to believe that this is the way it's supposed to be.
I lean toward agreeing with you. For the record, I lean toward agreeing with you. I will not try to change your mind on this. I feel like it's wrong, but I do see where it could be, where it could make sense in theory. Like rather than putting it down in one place, you're putting it down and then having it like lay across, so it's there at sea level at the bottom, and then pulling everything out. So I don't know, but I don't think it's going to work.
I don't think so.
My theory is still that it's going to have to do with straw length and height sticking out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's my thing. And mine is once you're going to have to bend it enough to get it down in there, and it's going to be bent up too much to collect that. It's not going to collect everything at the bottom, but we'll see. I'm open. I'm open to it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find this out the hard way. I don't think there's any other way to do it, really. We have to dive in on this, and people need answers. I mean, daggone it, people need answers. They deserve answers. The government's not giving you answers on this. You need this show to do the job.
We know the juice box industry is in bed with the government here.
Yeah,
they're not going to tell us.
They're never going to.
Jerks.
Big juice box. They're not going to want you to know the truth. They're never going to want you to know the truth. They're just going to tell you, just focus on getting vaccinated. Focus.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they never want you to know the real truth of what's happening.
Now let's just hope we don't get run off the road and attempted hit by the juice box industry. But until next week,
if anything happens to me, I'm not suicidal.
Put this out here now.
Yeah, maybe that'll be their serial killer calling card. Will just be like an empty juice box on your chest or something like that. Like, they did it again. They struck again.
Big juice box. Big juice box at it again.
All right. So listen, we're going to get ready to wrap this sucker up, but I did not want to leave our beloved audience hanging. A lot of people wanted to know, could there be anything left from our newest segment that has been sweeping the nation of real things for sale on Facebook Marketplace? I have one, just one for tonight. I'm going to share with you. So yes, the answer is yes, we do have one more. One more. Now, there will be more, but only one this week. This I saw the other day. And again, just to be clear, this is a real thing currently for sale on Facebook. I saw this. Now, this is bizarre, right? They call it a glove hand sculpture. I thought this was very strange. For anyone who's listening instead of watching, it's just an arm and hand that's sitting on the floor. It does not do anything at all. Just standing there.
No, maybe ceramic. Is that what we're going to guess? All right.
Here's what's interesting. The description. It's $15 to buy this, right? But here's the description. Vintage gloved hand that was originally bought at an antique store. It doesn't really match my style anymore. It's just a white, it's like a white ceramic kind of cartoony looking hand and arm that's just sitting on the floor. What style did you have?
Yeah,
that you've now grown out of.
Your style? And
Like, it
where's
just
the
doesn't match my
glove?
style anymore. There's no glove.
There's no glove on this thing. So does the glove come separate, or did that get lost at some
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, you just put any glove on it. Also, that is a giant looking, like those fingers are huge. I don't think
Yeah.
normal gloves are going to fit on it very well.
Or do you just put one on each finger? Like it's a statue or sculpture for gloves,
Yeah.
but you have to supply your own gloves?
That's the problem.
$15 is not a bad price.
$15 is a pretty good price. Yeah, if you're going to buy one, this is not a bad one to get. It's used at least. You're not having to, you don't have the depreciation that comes with a new one.
Sure.
But
sure.
But yes, the idea that somebody said it doesn't really match my style anymore, I thought that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And at one point, it did match your style.
At one point, this was a focal point of your home.
Yes.
You built your style around this thing.
Yeah, really tied the room together.
Yeah. You know what would tie this thing together would be a giant hand. What if I could find one?
Yeah. And this is not like one of those giant hands, again, for people that are listening. It's not one of those things like you see those big chairs that look like a hand that you sit in. This is nothing like that. This is like maybe 2.5 feet tall with just like a slightly bigger than human hand on it with like round fingers. And that was somebody's style at one point. But now they've grown out of it, or they're just, it's not my style anymore. And now they're ready to pass it on to the next glove hand enthusiast who's out there. Who's shopping for that? Who's looking for, like, finally one became available?
Oh my gosh, I've been looking all over the place. And for $15, there's got to be something wrong with it, but I'll take a chance.
It's a steal.
Oh, it is missing its glove, I guess. But I got gloves laying around. I just don't have the sculpture.
I can knit a glove. I can knit a glove if I have to.
We need to do a follow-up with these people and ask if it's still available is what we need to do. That's
is still available, and can we talk with you? And because the authorities also want to talk with you. So, yeah, we have found some amazing things with that.
What other appendages do you have in your home?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. One thing that we know for sure is that our new segment of Real Things for Sale on Facebook Marketplace is sweeping the nation.
Mm-hmm.
People love it. People freaking out by it. I will say I will try to find more as time goes on. You don't find these gems all the time, right? You have to look, and then you find some things. And I found some that I just feel like aren't worth it. We will only try to bring you things that are worth your time.
Sure.
But from time to time, we will drop them in, and that's what we have. That's what we have for this.
And we'll let you know if it's still available from now on.
That's it. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We will get clarification on the sales status of these products in case you want them. And closing out, I think tonight, I saw this video. This is maybe something that we could all aspire to, I suppose. Efficiency. Nothing more important in life. Efficiency. Efficiency can maximize your personal life, your work life, whatever it is that you're doing. Efficiency is an important part. And I found a video of someone who established tremendous efficiency. I want to share that video with you because this is the way to do it. This is a man gambling in Las Vegas. He has an entire section of slot machines and one of those little rascal scooters and is just going in circles around them. Hitting the button. Let me silence it. He's just going in a circle around these machines, just hitting the buttons, playing this slot, these 1, 2, 3, it looks like 4 slot machines, and just riding his little rascal scooter in a circle, playing them over and over again.
Just the worst of the worst people. Could you imagine wanting to play that game and you see this idiot and this rascal scooter just going around in a circle, got money in all the machines? He's playing, dollar spins, right, and just going around in the scooter. He probably spent more in electricity to charge that scooter up than he's going to win on those games.
Yes,
but
it's all penny slots, and he's just going around in a circle. And
what an awful
for 11
human
hours,
being.
Probably.
Because
remember when we've been out in Vegas before, we will be leaving in the morning, and you see people, and then we're coming back late at night. You see the same people at the same table, man. They're not leaving; they're just there all day.
100%. How about that? Remember the guy in the jean shorts that was just like he was there with his mom who was in the wheelchair, and she's not playing. She's just on the side setting hunts, and
They're just
and
propped up.
he's in these jean shorts and just yelling and screaming, and I mean, it's just
It is so bad.
the worst of the worst, man.
I have come to the conclusion that you can tell how good a casino is by how many infirmed people there are in there. Like, if you go into a casino and like the more injuries that you see, the worse the casino is, right? Like, so if you go in and there's just like a person with a cane, but nobody in a wheelchair or has a full body cast or anything, then you're in a pretty classy place, you know? But in other places, it's like just people are just like lumbering around like it's like The Walking Dead, and it's a bunch of weird zombies and people in weird contraptions and like, or just that dance with each other, but there's no music, and there's just so many strange things that you see in casinos.
Oh my gosh, dude! Do you remember the Binions adventure that we had?
Yes.
I mean, and that wasn't even that long ago, but their security cameras were literally from like 1970.
They were like
just
in plastic fish bowls hanging on the ceiling. You could bump them with your head because they had like drop ceilings that were barely tall enough to walk around.
And then the guy who had his own little show there comes out with like this mini speaker, and he just starts singing in like Dolly Parton voice, and then these two crippled people, just really weird people, start dancing with each other to this guy singing like a male singing like Dolly Parton. And we were all looking at each other like, what is happening right now? Where are we? What is going on? Like the girl couldn't walk, but she gets out with her boyfriend and starts dancing.
I think she had like her foot in a cast or something, and like hobbled out there and was like it was like a peg leg. We got to do a Vegas show sometime. Like just talking about our Vegas stories would be insane.
I think the guy said he was the guy of 1,000 voices or something.
Yes,
I remember,
but they all sound the same.
Name.
There's no. You just named them 1,000 different things. You're the man with 1,000 names for your voice, but it's not 1,000 different voices.
No, not at all. It's so bad.
It would just
be had a residency.
Hi, I'm Michael Jackson, and then it would just it'd be like, I'm Dolly Parton.
And I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. What is happening?
Yeah, it's like a hand painted sign on a piece of wood that like to advertise himself, and it's like, this is not. There's no perceivable talent or skill here whatsoever. But yeah, he's singing, and all of these infirmed people are dancing around. It was scary. Yeah.
But he had a residency there, which was the wildest thing, man. I was like, hey, if you can't make it here, you can't make it.
If you can't make it here, jump off the building, because you are given every opportunity, man. If you blow this, you don't have it. He didn't have it, and he still was there. So you don't even need to have it, and you could still be successful.
We can go on like some dude named Mr. Freeze. Remember, like he was like. Our buddy Brandon recognized him. Oh, Mr. Freeze. Oh, you know. I was like, who is this guy? I was like, hey, you guys want tickets to the show? Nah, man.
We're good.
We probably got a lot of stuff happening, so.
The schedule's real full.
We're only here for like 2 days.
It's so bad.
So
man.
Weird. Like, who was that guy? Like, I don't know. He was on MTV, man. Really? Why was he on MTV?
Like, did he break in? How did he get on MTV?
Like, he was like a guest member of, TRL? Like, what in the world?
So strange. We have seen so many bizarre things.
Yeah. We really do have to get a Vegas show going one of these days.
Yeah. That'd be
get everyone on.
Yeah.
And just, the stories. Oh, my gosh. Good times.
Yes, good times. Maybe took
very
a few years off our lives, but
very bad times as well.
A lot of bad times. We had a lot of bad times out there. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think that's everything we got for tonight. Did you have anything that you wanted to add before we put this sucker to sleep?
You know what? I just got an alert here on my phone about former child actor Evan Ellingson's cause of death. And this is what kills me, man. These kill me, and we're so far off topic here, but it cracks me up. The guy died, right? He was a child star. He was on CSI Miami.
I'm looking him up right now because I did not know who this was or anything.
Yeah. So he died earlier this month, and they did the autopsy and did the report, and it was an accidental fentanyl overdose. Bro, you're doing fentanyl. Like, that's not accidental. I'm so tired of this. Like,
yes,
he accidentally did too much fentanyl. He did fentanyl.
No,
like,
yeah.
That happens when you do fentanyl.
Unless he didn't do it intentionally. Unless you're saying that somebody like put it all over the handle of his car door and they got it on his skin and was like, uh-oh, I got fentanyl. But like outside of that, he just did fentanyl.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he did fentanyl and he died. Like, he didn't accidentally overdose on it. He did fentanyl, which already is too much.
Yes,
so
it's going to kill you.
It's going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's just, but that's all the time. It's like, oh yeah, he accidentally did too much fentanyl. No, he did fentanyl. That should just be the autopsy report.
If he shot himself, it wouldn't be like he accidentally shot himself. He accidentally ingested too many bullets. Like, there's no, like, so you know what you're doing. You chose to do it.
Yes. Just weird. I mean, I feel awful for his family. He was 35. That's terrible. But like, these accidental things, that's just too much, man. Like, accidentally did too much fentanyl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, did you know how much you were supposed to do?
Right, like, did you
and
go
then
to a
somebody
doctor and
tricked you and put yeah, like, I have this much fentanyl. This is, hey, nobody mess with my fentanyl. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then somebody put more in there, and you didn't know it, and then it was an accidental overdose. Come on, that just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't at all. Just too much. Like, no, he died from doing fentanyl.
Yes, that's it.
Just leave it at
the way
that
to call
story.
it. Because if you continue to say it in this way, that it was an accidental overdose, it makes people think that there is a safe level to do it at.
Right.
And that as long as you don't accidentally get into something too much, then you're fine. It's totally fine. It's super safe.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I do a little fentanyl every now and again. No. That's not okay.
Yeah. That's really not like, it's really not what you want to be going for. Like, occasionally I like to indulge in a little benefit of fentanyl.
Yeah, jeez.
It's so crazy to me. And all of this stuff is just insane, man. I mean, yeah. But we do need to have a conversation about how we treat these things, because fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. So don't you think it doesn't take much of an accident to cause that to be a problem for you when you're taking something 100 times more potent than morphine?
Exactly.
There was a time we gave people morphine because their legs had been blown off in battle,
gangrene had
in the
set
war.
in. Yeah.
Yes. And you had to like cut their legs off and stuff, and they were in agony, and you gave them morphine because their legs having been just blown off, morphine was able to allow them to deal with the pain and be semi-comfortable while you figured things out for them. Right. This is 100 times stronger than that. And you want to mess around with it.
Yeah. Absolutely insane.
I don't get the appeal.
I was at Walmart today, and I had a just massive headache, and so I'm looking around, and the medicine aisle there, and they actually sell Narcan there now.
Wow. Just right in the aisle. Like just
right
walk
in the aisle.
and buy it.
Yeah. Right next to the, like the muscle relaxer, ointments that you put on. It was right there.
Right next to Tiger Balm.
Yeah. Honestly, it was right next to the Tiger Balm. Unbelievable. I mean, it's nice that it's there, but could you imagine going up and checking out?
Seriously. Yeah, it's like I'll wait for the self-checkout to open.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you can't self-check that out. I'm assuming not. I don't know. Maybe you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure someone's going to figure a way to abuse Narcan, I'm assuming. So now
I'm sure
it's for
we have
sale.
a great team of researchers working on this right now, probably in a bathroom basement in Florida.
Yes.
They are hard at work to crack the code on this.
Yeah. Maybe that that meth lab house that's for sale out in California. They're going to turn that into a Narcan research facility.
Yeah, you got all the equipment, you're ready to go. Just jump in
That's
and get
it.
to work. Roll up your
Jump in.
sleeves and get this thing figured out.
Jeez.
Terrible,
Yeah,
terrible,
just
terrible.
saw that pop up. I was like, come on, man. It's time to
Yeah.
start calling it what it is. You know,
Yes,
he died of fentanyl.
yes, that's it.
Not accidentally.
You mess with it,
He-
you die from it. That's how
That's
it works.
exactly it. Yeah.
All right, well, that's a great way to end.
Yeah,
End
absolutely.
on a high note. Just a little update about fentanyl overdosing, and then we'll go ahead and wrap
We're
this
out.
sucker up. Best luck, everyone. Sleep well.
Sleep tight.
All right. Well, it was fun as always. We appreciate and thank our audience as we always do. Encourage you to check us out on all of our social media channels. Check out our YouTube. Of course, you can listen to the podcast on all of the major podcast platforms, and we will do our best to continue to keep you entertained. Thank you for sticking with us. Enjoy your afternoon, evening, morning, whatever the heck you got going on. Whenever you're listening, we appreciate you listening, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good night, everybody.